Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. And if you can hear me okay, and if you can see me okay, type in the word love and where you're tuning in from. If you can see me okay, if you can hear me okay, type in the word love and where you are tuning in from. Let me know, let me know. Let me see, is this one okay? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, if you guys can see me okay. Type in the word love and where you are tuning in from. Love, love, love for sure. What's up, TikTok? What's up, Instagram? Today we are going to talk about a couple of topics. I have a little itinerary so I don't get off track too much. I know usually in the Q&As things start coming to me and then I get a little off track, but I wrote down what I really came here to talk about, and of course we're going to do some Q&As, and those go kind of everywhere, but I'm only going to be on live for about an hour today. We have South Dakota in the building. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Usually we get a huge range of people all over the world. It's usually really, really diverse as far as the people that come on here. So I always love asking where you guys are tuning in from. Write it down into the comments with the word love. Where are you tuning in from? You have New York. You have South Dakota. You have San Diego. You have Washington. You have Nigeria. Ooh, that's crazy. You have Milwaukee. That's cool. You got Tallahassee, Florida. Shout out to Florida, my home state. I'm in California right now. We're in Long Beach, California right now. That's where the headquarters is, but I'm born and raised in Florida. We got Pennsylvania. We got all types of stuff. Oh, man. This is dope. All right. We're going to have a great live today. Like I said, I'm only being on live for about an hour. I don't want to go, too much over an hour because I got other stuff to do, but I do want to tap in with the peoples, and yeah. We got Denmark. Sheesh. All over the world, as you can see. All over the world. I am answering questions. And I'm also talking about... I just want to have a discussion with you guys as well. I want to have a discussion about a couple of different topics. One of the main topics, and this has been something that has been so prevalent since I started helping people online. Since I went online and really opened myself up to the world and seeing what the masses are dealing with, one of the main things is organ removal. This is one of the main things. Organ removal. Like you're a Lego or something. Organ removal. I want you guys to type down in the chats if you or someone has experienced organ removal, because guys, it's big business. So do not be surprised if you see plenty of people in the chats or around you talk about their organs being removed. It's big business, huge business. Let me know in the chats if you guys personally or know somebody who has dealt with one of their organs being removed, cut in half, snipped in some type of way. And make sure you're double tapping the screen, triple tapping the screen, liking the live on both of the apps, because that just helps the algorithm get it out to more people. Gallbladder removal. Yes, gallbladder removal again. Liver. Gallbladder is a big one. Gallbladder is a big one. You know why gallbladder is a big one? Gallbladder is a big one because of the amount of oils in our diet. Because the gallbladder, its main objective is to hold the bile and release the bile. And bile is released when there is some type of fat, some type of oil in the system. And so if you look at almost every single thing on our shelves in grocery stores, every option that we have as far as restaurants and where we go to eat, all of them are going to be cooking with oil, lots and lots of oil. Almost every single thing you buy in a box or a can has oil in it. Whether it be canola, whether it be some type of vegetable oil, seed oil, whatever it might be, even if it's olive oil, coconut oil, doesn't matter. We cook with lots and lots, and we eat lots and lots of oil. What's the percentage? Let me see. What's the percentage of like oil in the diet? I would say anywhere from like a quarter to half of our diet is including oils. And and the modern population, their gallbladders are suffering. Gallbladder removal is one of the most common ones. That one, and then lymph nodes slash like lymph organs. So tonsils, different lymph nodes, adenoids. Okay, a lot of lymphatic organs are removed. That goes to show you the overwhelming problem we have as a society. It's the lymph. It's the lymph. And it's the oils in the food. Oils aren't necessarily the most natural. Like the oils that we see. Okay? Because there has to be some type of processing to it. Because even just in a tablespoon of an oil, whether it be a coconut, avocado, whatever oil, seed oil, whatever, especially with the seed oils though, there's so much material that goes in to creating just a tablespoon of oil. And we use a lot more than that on a daily basis. Okay? Hundreds of avocados probably went into that one bottle. Thousands of olives probably went into that one thing. Hundreds of coconuts probably went into that. And I would say thousands upon thousands of seeds went into making those oils that we eat. Cottonseed, rapeseed, grapeseed, canola, all these different types of oils. A lot had to be used to create just one of those bottles of oil. So it's so easy to overdo it on the oils. Very, very easy to overdo it on the oils. If you're eating something that has oils inside it, most likely it's going to overdo it on the oils. And so we have to support our gallbladders as much as we can. And one of the ways that we do that is by consuming bitter flavors more often. Because the bitter flavor is going to have an action in the body that helps the body and helps the gallbladder remove excess amount of bile, or just bile period. It helps it move bile, helps it stimulate that bile flow whenever we eat bitters. So that's why I tell people with gallbladder stones, gallbladder issues, or even a removed gallbladder, you want to consume dandelion root every single day for the rest of your life. To be honest with you, if you got your gallbladder removed, you want to consume at least 1 cup of dandelion root tea every day for the rest of your life, and that's gonna help with the bile flow. Because if your gallbladder is gone, that's gonna hinder the bile flow. Okay, but I wanted to talk about organ removal specifically, and I guess not just specifically about the gallbladder, but I do know that the gallbladder removed is very, very common. But I wanted to talk about just organ removal, period. Because we we don't understand the body. They have not we have not been taught, and we don't, I guess, remember. I guess I can say that we don't remember the functions of the body. And when we don't remember that, we think we have throwaway organs. We think we have organs and glands that can just leave the body and we'll be good because we have an extra one. No bueno, no bueno. Is dandelion leaf the same as the root? No. No. They're going to have different minerals in it, slightly different actions to it. I like the dandelion leaf for more of the diuretic, the more to stimulate the urine flow, and I like the root to stimulate more of the bile flow. And it has the more of the bitterness to it. Okay? So no, they're not the same. Nor would I use them the same way. But organ removal, guys, we have to understand that when we start removing organs, it truly throws our bodies out of balance. Because every single organ is responsible for the creating or the converting or the eliminating or the producing of something. Some type of hormone, some type of vitamin, some type of something. Okay? Every single organ has a role, has a responsibility. And when we remove organs, it truly throws our bodies out of whack. Okay? So we talked about the gallbladder. That was one of the main ones. It's the gallbladder and tonsils. Tonsils is a huge one, especially with kids. Usually the people, and some of you guys can probably confirm, the people who are watching, how many of you have removed tonsils when you were a kid? It mostly happens in kids. And then most of the adults regret it later, at some point down the line. Because we believe that the tonsils are just a throwaway organ, when in reality they're a lymphatic organ. And lymphatic organs are important because they're responsible for moving the lymphatic system, moving the lymphatic fluid. Especially, these are especially important because you have your brain here. And your brain is very active. Okay? The brain is very active and sheds a lot of waste. Just as if you were to work out a lot and you shed a lot of sweat and shed a lot of waste, the brain does the same thing. So it's lymphatic system in the brain, or the glymphatic system with a G. The glymphatic system, they call it, but I like to just say lymphatic system in the brain. But the lymphatic system in the brain has to constantly be flowing. Okay, it cannot get stagnant. You'll start to see really, really, really bad symptoms from that. Okay, you'll see the swelling of like the adenoids, the tonsils, and things like that. You'll start to get the headaches. You'll start to get the pressure in your head. You start to get brain fog and cloudiness and no clarity in your head. So you don't want that. You want the lymphatic system of the brain, the glymphatic system, you want that draining properly at all times. And if you remove your tonsils, it just hinders that. Makes things harder to get out. Okay? So please, guys, think twice about removing, think 3 times, 4 times before removing any organ, any gland, anything like that. Okay? Because they are all important. I don't care what the doctor says on that. They are all important. I don't see our body having throwaway. So, somebody on TikTok said, what do I eat with Candida? I've been fruitarian, some veggies for years. Fruit makes me worse. So if you have Candida, I highly recommend that you grab a couple of herbs online or at a local apothecary right now. And these herbs I would want you to drink before you consume anything. Anything. Okay? For the first month, you are going to have these bitter teas every single day. For 1 month, every single day. Okay? You're going to have 1 cup of dandelion root before your meals. So however many times you eat is that many times you drink dandelion root. The one that you take once a day, you can do cloves once a day. I like cloves and cinnamon personally. So cloves and cinnamon. Drink that once a day. You can drink it in the morning or you can drink it at night. I like drinking it at night and making that the last thing that my body tastes before I go to sleep. You want some type of bitterness. Okay, because Candida, and I've been talking about this for the past like week actually. Candida is it stems from too much moisture and fermentation in the body. Candida is actually natural in the body. Candida breaks down the human body when we die. So Candida is very important in the body. So it's not necessarily the enemy. The overgrowth of it and the conditions of the environment that it lives in, that would be the so-called enemy. Okay, but Candida itself is only there because there's stuff to eat. All right? So, at the end of the night, let the last thing you taste be something bitter. Okay, because if Candida is a result of too much moisture and too much fermentation, okay, from the undigested food waste that you have or the uneliminated food waste that you have, then the way that we counteract that is with the opposite side. Sweet is moistening, bitter is drying. So you may want to go to the less glycemic fruit. You may want to add in more greens during this time. Okay, especially in the winter time where the sun isn't really there like that. It's not super strong, so it's not really aiding our digestion like that. For somebody with a normal digestion who doesn't suffer from bloat and candida and stuff like that, then that wouldn't be a problem. But if you suffer from undigested food waste and unprocessed food waste sitting inside you, creating that candida overload and overgrowth that you have, then I would naturally eat more bitters, bitter leaves, or just neutral greens, lettuces and spinach and the arugula and the microgreens. And I really like the Asian supermarkets. If you have some around you, find some Asian supermarkets. They have really cool greens. They have a wide variety of greens that you've probably never even heard of before. All different types of colors, shapes, and sizes. And so don't think that you have to eat a boring ass Caesar salad every single day. Get creative with it. You can add in things like mushrooms and stuff like that as well. So you can get super creative with it. But as far as the teas, drink a dandelion root before you eat absolutely anything. Okay? And then I would do the clove tea at nighttime. And then I would also grab our gut cleanser tea. Is this it? Yeah. Our gut cleanser tea. Okay? This is going to eliminate the undigested food waste that is still sitting in there. Okay? Because our intestines are extremely long. I want you guys to understand that. Our intestines are extremely long, especially the small intestine. Small intestine, what do they say, is like 20 plus feet. It's super long. Okay? And our small intestine has all these little folds everywhere. And so it's so easy for, especially living, standard American diet, especially living that lifestyle, it's very easy for these glutinous foods and these fried foods and these oils and all these breads and flours that we eat. Okay, it's very important that we that we cleanse that. Okay, it's very easy for that to get stuck up in there. Okay. Yes, the gut cleanser is safe if you have a weak liver. Yes, it is. Um, and so and if you do have a weak liver, in that case, I would also recommend our Love of Liver formula. So it'd be the gut cleanser and it'd be the Love of Liver. Because in reality, you're still gonna need, and if your liver is down, I know your gallbladder's down. If your gallbladder's down, I know your pancreas is down. And if you don't have those three, you don't have proper digestion. You can't. Okay? Because the liver and gallbladder deal with the bile. The pancreas deals with the enzymes. So you need those three. I call them the three brothers because they're the hardest working. They all kind of connect to each other. They all do similar things. And you need those for digestion. So if you work on those, and a part of working on those is going to be consuming the bitters. Okay. That's all going to work on those. And that's going to allow you to actually eat the food. That's going to allow you to actually eat the food and get rid of the Candida as well. Okay, because Candida, a lot of people don't realize Candida is not just a sugar issue. Oh, I have Candida, I'm just not going to eat any sugar. No fruits, no. And I understand the other types of sugar, but fruit sugar is not it. Like eliminating fruit sugar is not the answer to your problem, because Candida thrives off of the fermentation of sugar, not just sugar, period. Because if it's not overly fermenting and there's not a lot of waste being left behind to ferment, then it wouldn't be a problem. But because you have undigested food waste, you have a weak liver, weak gallbladder, weak pancreas, not just you, but really anybody who suffers from Candida, there's no way that you can properly break down your foods, and there's no way for you to properly absorb your foods, and there's no way for you to properly utilize what you're even eating. So it just leaves you in a more weakened state. Even though you can eat more than anything, but you're still feeling weakened. Yeah, so no mixing fruits and veggies for sure to eliminate fermentation. No drinking while eating. Yes, that's why I said drink the tea before you eat. You can also drink it about 30 minutes after you eat. 30 minutes to an hour after you eat, you can drink like a fennel tea or ginger tea. You can do dandelion and ginger together before the meal too. Dandelion and ginger together. That'll get your digestion up. How can you solve hormonal balance in women? Thank you for the question on Instagram. Whenever I look at hormones, period, it doesn't even have to be in women. It can be hormones, period, for men as well. Whenever I look at that, I look at the pituitary gland. Okay, the pituitary gland, somewhere deep inside the middle, right here. And this is responsible for being, I call it like the master puppeteer of all the other endocrine system glands. The hypothalamus and the pituitary are like the master puppeteers, telling things to produce more of this, produce less of this, and really like orchestrating them. And so whenever I talk about healing the hormones, I always go after that, the pituitary. And this formula that I made for my wife many years ago, the Queen's formula, that's the one that we have now. I crafted that for her with that intention in mind. I'm going to go after the pituitary because in my philosophy, this is what would balance out the hormones. And I'm going to go a little bit after the uterus as well and tonify that, strengthen that and stuff. But the main purpose of our tincture, which I don't have it on me, but this is basically what it looks like. This is basically what it would look like, something like this. It's called our Queen's Formula. And so I made that with the pituitary in mind, and it's helped many, many women regulate their hormones, regulate their cycles, bring back fertility. That's one of my favorite things to do. Bring back fertility and things like that. So that is going after the pituitary glands. One of the things you can do to go after the pituitary gland, there's a couple things you can do. One of them is be very careful with makeup and your skincare and what you put on your skin. Okay, because remember I told you that the pituitary gland is here in the head. Okay? And whatever you put on your skin, whatever you put on your face, as far as makeup goes, or whatever you put on your scalp, you know, as far as hair care, right? That is sinking into your bloodstream. That is sinking into your bloodstream, and eventually it's going to get into your lymphatic system as well. So there's just going to be a lot of toxicity up here. Okay, especially if you deal with swollen tonsils often, or sinus issues often, you're not properly eliminating that, all those toxins. So be very, very mindful of that. Very, very mindful of that. Another thing that you can do that helps a lot is steam saunas. Steam saunas. Our face eliminates the most sweat, the quickest and the most at one time. So the face is a good way to detox the head just by sweating. So going into a steam sauna a couple times out of the week, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, that's going to help you release any pressure up here to help your pituitary gland. These are things you can use to help your pituitary gland and regulate your hormones. This goes for men and women. Another thing you can do is use to the women, use this one, the men use this one. The women, look for chaste tree berry. That is my go-to when it comes to the pituitary gland for the women. Chaste tree berry. Okay? And for the men, go after saw palmetto. Okay, I like saw palmetto. That is in our King's Formula. So for the women, the chaste tree berry is in our Queen's Formula. You can either grab the herb yourself or you can grab our formula, whichever one you choose. And for the men, it's the saw palmetto or the King's Formula. And that goes after the pituitary. And so yes, that would eventually help with the fibroids. Because when you're regulating your hormones, you're not producing an excess amount of, let's say, estrogen that is building up. Okay? And so by doing that and by focusing on the liver, if you have hormonal imbalance, you have to focus on your liver. This is my last tip. If you have hormonal imbalance, you have to focus on your liver, because the excess amount of hormones is going to go and stay in the liver, or get stored by the liver, or disrupt the liver, or has to be processed by the liver. So going after your liver, doing these liver cleanses, these liver flushes, I have one on our profile, on each one on TikTok and Instagram. I have a liver cleanse on there that you guys could go and follow. It's completely free. Just follow the instructions in the video, Do the 10 days. That's a good way for you to cleanse your liver, especially with the wellness shot that I give you. That's a great way to cleanse your liver. Okay. So these are things you want to focus on when it comes to balancing out the hormones, and making sure, last one, and making sure you stop eating chicken. Stop eating chicken. If you have hormonal imbalance, stop eating chicken, because chicken is probably the meat with the most hormones inside of it. You have to understand that these chickens are raised and killed, you know, in like a month or two. They don't have time for the chicken to naturally bulk up so that they can sell it as a chicken wing. They pump it with all these antibiotics and hormones and all these steroids and all these, but hormones especially. The same with eggs, of course. Of course, the same with eggs. How can the chicken give the egg something that it is not? If it is a toxic chicken, it's going to create a toxic egg. Okay? And so the eggs is the same thing. And so when you're consuming these hormones, and besides what they are pumped with, besides that, they are full-fledged animals, creatures, not much different than humans on the inside. Okay? That produce their own neurotransmitters and hormones. So you're consuming theirs, you're consuming the hormones that were pumped in it by the farmer or whoever did it. Okay? So you're getting all of these excess hormones when your body is already supposed to be producing these same hormones. And so you have yours, you have the chickens, you have the syringes that they're giving the chickens and the feed that they're giving the chickens. And then you have your mate, right? You can see how easy it is to get overwhelmed with excess hormones in this society. You have all these phytoestrogens in your paints and your rugs and your polyester and you have all these endocrine disruptors in all your clothes and your rugs and your bed sheets and it's everywhere. Okay, so you have to support your liver. All right. So once every couple of months, do that liver cleanse that I have on the profile. If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, go over to the profile, the pinned videos on both apps, the pinned videos at the top 3. Those, it's going to give you the liver cleanse. And I want you to hop on that at least once a quarter, 4 times out of the year, where it's 10 days. 10 days. Give yourself discipline for 10 days where you can really cleanse your liver. And then the rest of the time, you're utilizing your diet or maybe herbs and stuff that will help you prevent a problem building up in the first place. Can I pay for a personal visit with you? Do you do phone calls, video visits? Yes. That is over on my personal website, lifetheplantway.com. lifetheplantway.com. Go ahead, double tap the screen, triple tap the screen, get the likes up on the live. Let the apps, tell the algorithm that we're live, shows it to more people and all that type of stuff just by liking the live while I take these tinctures. Do you think shaman work can mess up your organs? For sure. I mean, anybody's work can mess up your organs if you let anybody, work with your body. It can happen to anybody. You don't have to be just shaman work. I mean, it can be anybody. Doctors can fuck up your organs just as much as shamans can fuck up your organs. It all depends. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like that filled in a lot of holes. For sure, for sure. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. What about free-range chickens? It's still an animal. Still an animal. Any advice for 4-year-olds who suffers from constipation? What can I give him for relief? For 4-year-olds, and I'm a father of 3, so this is very personal to me. And I have a 5-year-old myself. So for 4-year-olds that suffer from constipation. Most kids suffer from constipation, if we're being honest. Most kids suffer from it. And I'll never forget, because it's normalized. I'll never forget when my firstborn, when he was, I want to say a year and a half, we went to this checkup, and we noticed that when we started giving him food, this was before I really knew a lot, but I noticed when we started giving him food, he started having less bowel movements. And I was like, well, that's weird. He's eating more than ever. Why is he having less bowel movements? That's interesting. I'm going to go to, when we go to the checkup, I'm going to ask, and see what they have to say. And I'll never forget when the pediatrician, doctor, whatever you want to call them, she was like, "Oh, well, it's actually normal for 1-year-olds to become constipated, or like when they start eating more foods, it's normal for them to become constipated." And in my head, I was looking at my wife, and I was just like, "That doesn't make any sense." Common sense said that was bullshit. Like, what do you? They're eating more but pooping less, and that's normal. That's okay. That's healthy. Red flag, huge red flag. And this is when I found out we were feeding him just too much grains and too much maybe dehydrated foods and stuff like that with the little snacks and plant-based cookies or whatever we were giving him. And, so I eventually figured out the problem, but I realized that constipation is actually super common in American culture and westernized culture. Super common. People are like scared of the bathroom. They poop more than once in a day, and they're scared of the bathroom. They're like, "What's going on?" You poop. God forbid you poop 3 times a day, and they're gonna think you have diarrhea. They're gonna think something's wrong with you, in the hospitals. Okay, so it's very, very normalized in Western society. But in reality, if you're not pooping 2, 3, depending on how many meals you eat, but if you're not pooping 2, 3, if you have to 4 times a day, then you're constipated and you're backed up. So a lot of people are backed up. Okay, and one of the things that I saw with toddlers specifically, being a parent and just being around parents and learning about this whole thing of being a parent, you learn in Western society, I should say, you learn that they're just really dehydrated. They're very dehydrated from within. And so a couple of things that you can do for relief is make her either make him either a watermelon juice every single day, give him a cup, or a orange juice every day, give him a cup, or an apple juice fresh. You make it yourself. If you don't have a juicer, make it in your blender and strain it. That's what I do. So these types of things, they're going to have lots of electrolytes. That's going to stimulate the colon. Okay, so that's going to help them release. Things like chia pudding. Chia pudding is great. Okay, giving them a little bowl of chia pudding every single day. Super easy to make. Extremely easy to make. It's just chia seeds, and I like to get coconut milk. If you want, throw a little spirulina in there, make it blue, and looks cool for the kids. They like it. But chia seeds with chia pudding. That's a quick, constipation relief. Coconut water straight from the coconut is going to be the best one. Straight from the coconut is going to be the best one. The refrigerated section is the second best, and then, well, the non-refrigerated section is the third best, I guess, if you really have to. Just make sure it has no sugars added in it. And so these electrolytes that are in these fruits are going to stimulate the colon, specifically the colon, because the colon deals with electrolytes. So if you find that they're not eliminating enough, they're most likely eating too much cooked foods and not hydrating enough. Okay, so start their morning, every breakfast has to start with fruit. That's actually like almost like a rule for my kids in our house. You break your fast with fruit. You break your fast with fruit. You want oatmeal and different types of things like that. Eat your fruit first. Eat your little fruit bowl. Help wake up your digestion, move things, help the fiber move things very gently with the fruit. And then if you want to eat something later, then you can eat something later in the morning, but it has to start off with fruit. Okay, start off with fruit, start off with liquids. So like I said, watermelon juice, orange juice, apple juice, grape juice. If you want to get fancy with the lemonades, you can do like a passion fruit, turmeric lemonade. That one's really good. Or it's like a passion fruit and pineapple juice. There's a lot of different juices you can get creative with. Love that you do this. Love that you did this live and that I had time to watch and listen. We'll be ordering for myself, daughters, and sisters. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And next live I go on, I'll be taking at least one request. At least one request so I can like co-host, I guess. Have a guest with somebody else, and then whatever questions they have, I'll answer it right there and really break it down, almost as if I was doing a consultation on live. I'm gonna do that most likely the next time I go on live. That'll probably be, today's what, Monday? Most likely will be tomorrow or Thursday that I go on live. But I'll announce it in the story, so just be mindful. What shall I do for acne marks? There are very extreme skin procedures to get rid of it. Honey and turmeric. Honey and turmeric. Raw, organic, local honey that you can get at a farmer's market. And put a little bit, like a tablespoon, into a little bowl. Put like a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Mix it up and just spread it on there. That's what I've been doing for the past like month. Because I used to pick at my face a lot when I was a little kid. I never listened to my parents. They're like, you're going to have scarring. You're going to have scarring. Little did I know, they were right. It's all right. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. And the body's temporary anyways. Yes, honey and turmeric help. I make my own soaps with that from scratch. And yes, it helps. Yeah, it's a really nice one. I like it a lot. Tooth cavities. Tooth cavities. If you had a tooth cavity, there's two things that I would do right away. If you have a cavity, there are two things that I would do. I mean, right now, I would legit get your phone, drive to the store if you have to. If you don't have the ingredients, drive to the store if you don't have the ingredients, or not, go into the kitchen and get ready. All right? There are two things that I would make from scratch in my kitchen if I was suffering from cavities. But let me know, guys, if you are liking the live. Double tap, triple tap the screen. Like the live, let the likes go up. As the likes go up, the more the apps kind of share it. Okay? Share it to other people, because I know a lot of people suffer from cavities. Okay, so I know that there's other people who want to know. Okay. All right. So, when we're focusing on cavities, I love making these two things in my house. One is a herbal mouthwash, and two is an herbal oil pull, or an herbal oil to start oil pulling. Those are my two favorite things to do if there's a cavity in the house, is the mouthwash and the oil pulling. All right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to take some coconut oil. If you don't have it, go and buy it. All right? I want you to put it into a pot. All right? Put it into a pot. And then I want you to put that, or in a bowl, and I want you to put that pot or bowl in a bigger pot. Okay, so it's called the double boil method. And what you're going to do is you're going to put water in that big pot, put the pot with the oil on top of the water, all right? and then let the oil heat up. Turn on the heat, let the oil heat up. And you're going to put cloves inside. I want you to put horsetail inside as well. If you don't have horsetail and you have cloves, then do cloves and cinnamon at the very least. Cloves and cinnamon into that coconut oil. And this is for a cavity. All right. If you're going to do a cup of it, depends on how much you make. If you're going to do a cup of it, then I would put about 5, 6. I would put a little bit. I would put a lot, to be honest with you. I would put anywhere from like 5 to 7, 7 to 10. I would put a good amount. I would just like fill up my hand a little bit, and that's me. That's not an official amount, but yeah, I would put a good amount. I would put about 7 to 10, and especially if it hurts, especially if the cavity hurts, okay. And then I would put the cinnamon in there as well. All right, and this is gonna be your oil pull. Every single morning, every single night. All right, and the cinnamon and the coconut and the clove, these are all gonna have, I would crush them and then put them in. Crush them up in the molcajete or the mortal and pistol or whatever you call that shit in English, the molcajete, and put it into the coconut oil, and then just get cinnamon. You can get cinnamon, either the bark itself, crush it up, you can put it in, or you can just get the powder and put it in. Doesn't matter. And you leave that there for about 30 minutes. Okay. Horsetail, same thing. If you have like the powder, do a teaspoon. If you have the leaf, do a tablespoon. And if you have the leaves, the sifted, then do that, the loose leaf. Okay, guys. That would be your oil pull, and I would do that, and I would leave that on the counter for about 30 minutes to an hour. Make it very concentrated, and then I would just strain it. Okay, and there you go. I wouldn't put it in the fridge because coconut oil just hardens up in the fridge, and I don't like that. And so I would leave it out of the fridge. Okay, and the second thing that I would do for the cavities is I would get water, and I would get mint essential oil. Okay, mint essential oil, and put about 5 drops of that into the water. And then you can also do clove if you want. Okay, and I would just I would gargle and I would swish with it. I would gargle and I would swish with it every single night, every single morning and every single night. Okay, that one you can stick in the fridge if you'd like. This is what I would do personally in my house. If I was dealing with like the breaking down of the tooth, I would probably make a comfrey root tea, and that would be my mouthwash. I would do comfrey root, and I would probably throw in maybe some cloves, and then I would experiment with it. But I would put in a little bit of mint too, and when it's all done, and that tea, I would just swish this around in my mouth every single morning, every single night. Every morning, every night. That's also, you have to get rid of the excess sugars. You have to get rid of the excess sugars in the diet. All right? Because it's not just targeting the mouth. The mouth is just an extension of the stomach. The mouth is just an extension of the digestive system. It's just a part of the digestive system. And so if you have excess amount of sugars in you, then you're going to have an excess amount of sugars in your mouth. And that's going to tear down your, that's where you're going to get the cavities. It's going to tear down your enamel and stuff like that. A lot of stress. Stress will tear you down. Quite physically, quite literally will tear you down. It'll tear your whole body down. Okay, because the stress, the hormones and the chemical reactions that is happening when you are stressed, okay, quite literally is made to tear you down. And it's not, stress can be a good thing. I mean, we go under stress every single day. If you are lifting a heavy load, you're putting your muscles under stress. And so there's always stress throughout the day, but an uncontrolled, excessive amount of stress tears us down. And so that's usually coming from up here. That's coming from our emotional state, our environment, and like the traumas that we're experiencing. Usually in relating to the job. It's usually in relation to the job or the spouse. Usually, or for kids, schools. And when they keep you under that constant stress, it just tears your body down. It changes your whole, it changes your whole just structure, the way you look, the way you act, the way you think, the way you, everything. Stress changes you. Okay, especially a constant stress. It changes you. Okay, so look into more breath control. You have to control your breath. Stress is controlled by the breath. Okay, stress is controlled by the breath. Depending on how fast or slow your breath is going will depend on how fast or slow your time is going. It will depend on how fast or slow your heart rate is going. It'll depend on how fast and slow like your brain is going. Okay, just depending on just on how you are breathing, how fast, slow, deep, shallow, intentional, unconscious that you're breathing. It will completely dictate your emotional state. It'll dictate your environment. It'll dictate your health, period. Okay, so be very mindful in the breathing. What I did when I first started this journey of like intentionally breathing, because it is a journey. It is something you have to remember. It's something that you have to do very intentionally, very consciously, very like, breathing. Something that's like, what do you mean breathing? Why do I have to think about breathing? Because you don't breathe right. Most people are just having these shallow breaths, these type breaths, especially when we were wearing masks. What? Especially you're breathing in recycled air. So we're not properly how many people on these lives, on both apps, be very honest, drop it down in the comments. How many of you guys actually took intentional breaths today? Like you set time aside to actually put time aside to breathing. Like you set time aside to breathe. You intentionally breathed through like a situation you were in. Or how many have gone throughout the day and unconsciously breathe? Because like, wait, of course I'm breathing. I'm alive, so I have to be breathing. So it means you're unconsciously breathing. How many of those people are on here as well? Me, and I can breathe deep again without heart palpitations since I quit caffeine. So nice. That's insane. Outlaw on TikTok said, drinking my Energia tea right now. I love it. I quit caffeine 21 days ago, and now she's able to deep breathe without heart palpitations. That caffeine will get you. So I'm proud of you. I'm glad the Energia tea, it's our energizing tea. It's this guy right here. This is our coffee replacement, our coffee substitute. People with adrenal fatigue, cough. The person on Instagram who just commented the fatigue. Feel blood back in my hands and feet again. And that goes to show you the effects of coffee and just caffeine in general. The effects it has in slowing down your blood circulation and hindering your blood circulation. Caffeine will do that. Why? Because caffeine goes after the adrenal glands, and the kidneys. And those are responsible for your proper blood flow, your proper blood circulation. Most people think it's just the heart. But if you deal with the heart, you have to deal with the kidneys. You deal with the kidneys, you have to deal with the heart. So it's more than just the heart. Okay? And caffeine will do that to you. So look at that. You're healing your adrenal glands, outlaw, and you're feeling blood back in your hands, back in your feet. You're stopping the heart palpitations. Your nervous system is being powered up again, so you can actually expand those lungs. You know, that's awesome. Well, not just the morning, but that's what starts the day. If caffeine starts your day, be careful. The tea, it's not meant to be long term, but as a supplement to restore. Yes. When you can start waking up after drinking this, maybe you might need a bag, maybe you might need 2 bags, maybe you might need 3. I don't know. Okay, I've seen all of them. I've seen people would do it just 1 bag. I've seen people do it with 2 bags. It all depends. But when you are able to wake up, go throughout the day without feeling any need for a jolt, any need for a boost in something, when you don't feel depleted, that's when you know, I don't need this anymore. You might still drink it because you like the benefits, but you don't need it. Right now, because you stopped the caffeine, you probably feel like you need something, you know? And so this is a good supplement to restore it in the short to medium term. Definitely not a long term like you need, like coffee. Coffee is a long term thing. If you were to start coffee right now and drink coffee for the next month or 2, you'd probably have a problem with leaving it. Okay, because, and imagine, people have been drinking coffee for decades. Legitimately decades, longer than I've been alive. But guys, I am about to hop off. I am reaching that hour limit that I set for myself. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me see a couple of things, a couple of announcements I wanted to make. If you guys want to learn more about this, you guys want to learn more about herbs, you guys want to learn more about the human body, the way it works, the way you support it with herbs or with your lifestyle, then you can join our community for free. We have a free online holistic health community. Okay, you can sign up for the free 14 days. Join, check out the videos. There's hours of content on there. And you can interact with other people in the community forum, share your story, take on challenges, all that type of stuff. If you have more questions, yes. If you have more questions, contact the store. You can call us. Just look us up on Google Maps, look us up on Apple Maps, whatever maps that you have, or you can just Google us, okay, Life the Plant Way. It's going to pop up our phone number. You can call it during business hours. Keep that in mind. You can visit us during business hours, okay. You can also email us with the website. You can DM us on Instagram or TikTok. We have DM support now. And so there's many ways to get your answer. There's many ways that you can reach out to us. There's many ways that you can get more information. Okay, just utilize the things that we have. We have over 1,200 videos on our social media platforms. Binge that. We have free online community. We have all the support. We have all of this to help you guys if you guys have questions that I'm not able to get to them on the live call. Okay, guys? All right. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to let you guys go now.